In Deuteronomy chapter 5 and Exodus 20, it gives us the Ten Commandments. But there are a few differences in Deuteronomy chapter 5. In Exodus chapter 20 verse 8 it says to remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but on the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. In it you shall do no work, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. In the goodness of Yahweh, He gave us 6 days to do our work, to get everything accomplished in those 6 days, and to rest on the seventh. Unfortunately, mainstream Christianity has ignored this very elementary commandment. He doesn't say to rest on the first day and then do all your work on the rest of the days. That's upside down according to the Father's instructions. Man has decided that he has a better plan, and his plan is to ignore Yahweh's instructions. Anytime that you ignore Yahweh's instructions, doing nothing more than rebellion. Korah fell into this rebellion, and he ended up falling from the face of the earth as the earth swallowed him up. But in the Deuteronomy account of the Ten Commandments, Deuteronomy 5 verse 12, it's given to the new generation in the wilderness. But there's something added in the Deuteronomy account that's not in the Exodus account, where it says in verse 15, and remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and that the Lord your God brought you out from there by a mighty hand and by an outstretched arm. Therefore the Lord your God commanded you to keep the Sabbath. For the first generation, the major theme was that Yahweh Elohim is the creator of the universe. And just as Yah completed His work in 6 days, we are to do the same in our life. And when we do this, it's considered a sign between Yahweh and the believer. And that's found in both Exodus 31:13 and Ezekiel 20:20. And it says, my Sabbaths will be a sign between me and you, that you may know that I am the Lord your God. But in addition to recognizing that He's the creator of the universe and resting on the seventh day, now as you remember that He's not only the creator of the universe, He is also our deliverer, meaning that every time that you keep the Sabbath, you are proclaiming that He is the creator of the universe and He is also our deliverer. Just as Yahweh delivered Israel from Egypt, He is the one who delivers us today. In Deuteronomy 7, verse 1 and 2, it says, when the Lord your God brings you into the land which you go to possess, and has cast out many nations before you, the Hittites, the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than you. Notice it says 7 nations greater and mightier than you. In the natural, there are things that are greater and mightier than we are. In the natural, the children of Israel were outmatched in size and skill, as they were just a herd of people who were traveling through the wilderness. But in the Spirit of the Lord, they could do all things. It's the same with us today. There may be an addiction or some kind of situation in one's life that may look similar to what the children of Israel saw, something bigger and mightier than them. But with the Lord on our side, you're able to defeat and conquer whatever seems bigger and mightier than you. So as you rest on the Sabbath day, you proclaim that He is the creator of the universe, as well as knowing that He is your deliverer. And for us today, our deliverer is none other than Jesus the Christ, Yeshua the Messiah. And this is the words that He gave us in Luke 4:18. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because He has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovery of sight to the blind, to set at liberty those who are oppressed, and to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. Hope this has been a blessing to you. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Shalom.